Success, Three Steps to Failure. It's going to be a great show. But as we do each week, we turn to David Banta, who is going to provide us with some tips. What you got for us this week, Dave?
Well, I've actually gotten a lot of calls and a lot of emails and messages, and I actually get called a lot. People actually hire me to come out for this, so I figured I need to do a show on it. People want to know how to do their own radio station on the internet. And we've been talking about how to do your own TV station on the internet, but not your own radio station.
Right.
And I've just been getting like a lot of calls. People want me to come out and set up a couple mics in their living room because they want to do like a talk radio show or some kind of radio show. And it's really interesting what I found out. I did a lot of research. and I've yet to do a lot more research on it, but it's really interesting. If you're looking to get into having your own radio show, either broadcasting talk radio on the internet or broadcasting music on the internet, I would recommend that you start with ubroadcast.com. Ubroadcast.com is actually a free service, kind of like ustream.tv. It's really heavily geared towards internet radio, though. Now, when you have your own internet radio station, you are obliged to follow copyright laws. So if you were to broadcast copywritten music on ubroadcast.com, they would cut you off for sure. But one thing I learned that was really interesting is that internet radio is not censored, and the FCC does not have any control over internet radio. So one thing you got to be aware of when you go on ubroadcast.com, there might be adult content on there that you don't want people to see. And they make you click on a little over 18 disclosure, but that doesn't mean the kids won't do that. So be aware.
So you get to say those words that kids never hear and never use.
Yeah, well, ubroadcast.com tries to monitor, nasty stuff. They try to do it because it's their site and they're broadcasting, but technically it's uncensored. Technically on the internet you can say or do whatever you want to do. I want you to remember, though, that the public is going to be seeing everything that you're putting up on the internet. Be really careful if you post pictures or your real name or your real phone number. And one thing I would recommend is on stuff like this, don't let people know that you're not at your house, because I've heard a lot that burglars can follow you on Facebook and follow you on Ustream, and they know you're going out somewhere, and they can break in. So just don't make anything on there that you don't want to be public.
That happened to me once in Chicago.
Really?
Yeah, because I used to work at ABC, and whenever you saw me on the air, you knew I wasn't home.
Really?
Oh, sure. And any other newscaster that does, anybody that does live stuff, their neighbors. This is like 25, almost 30 years ago. Yeah, 25 years ago. And they broke into my house, and man, I'm telling you, that was not a really cool feeling.
Yeah. Well, just be careful then not to tell people you're going out on any social site. A lot of people use the internet radio to broadcast like sporting events or church services or talk radio or something like that. The one drawback about ubroadcast.com is that it requires software. Like if you log on to kpfk.org and you click on Listen Live, you have the option to listen via a Windows Media Player or iTunes or even Winamp. But the ubroadcast.com has it's a free software. It looks and works kind of like iTunes, but people need to download it to pay attention to it. But here's something that's really awesome about it. Even though your music is independent, all the people that are on ubroadcast give other people permission to use their personal music. So if you want to start a really cool independent station, there's tons of music on there by other people that you do have permission to play. So you can play all this stuff that people are putting up there, and you can make yours so other people can play your music.
You just can't play
copywritten stuff.
Led Zeppelin.
Yeah, you can't play something. They will shut you down.
Now, how do they shut you down? I mean, what do they
do
from the house?
If they find out about it,
helicopters?
usually like a company like Sony reports that somebody's doing it.
Yeah.
It's really hard to monitor. There's millions of people broadcasting. It's really hard to monitor. But
are they that good?
I don't know, but there is a way to do it legally. If you go on ubroadcast, and if you get a nice little follower going, nice little set of following going, you can go to either shoutcast.com or live365.com, and those are paying versions of internet radio where you actually can play stuff like Led Zeppelin. And what happens is you pay for the service. It's not cheap.
Right.
It's like $75 or $100 a month starting out.
Right.
Plus they charge you for bandwidth. So if you broadcast in higher quality, it costs you more. If you get more listeners, it costs you more.
And they've made deals with the PROs, the Performing Rights Organizations.
Yeah, and
like
they pay for it.
BMI, and
Exactly.
so that they can pay for the songs you play, right?
Exactly, and we're going to talk about that next week. There's a couple other organizations that you can join, and you can pay a fee, and then you get permission to actually do that, and they take care of actually paying everybody. But my advice to you is, if you want to get into internet radio, to start with ubroadcast.com. Its setup is really quick. It takes like 5 minutes to set up, and you can be broadcasting, and it's free. You can upload, you can rip CDs in, you can upload MP3s, and you can create playlists. So when you're not at home, your show can still be going. So yeah, I would recommend that you go on ubroadcast.com.
The letter U.
The letter U, okay. Broadcast.com, exactly.
Because UTV is, I mean, YouTube is YOU.
Yeah,
TV,
YOU, and Ustream is the letter U. Yeah, but then you have to get a lot of followers. If you get a lot of followers, then you can start doing the paying one, because then you can get sponsorship. But it's really not worth it. I don't think it's worth it to start out with Shoutcast or Live 365, because they charge you like a lot of money just to up to 25 listeners.
Right.
And it's like, I don't know, it's like $75 or something just
right.
for 25 listeners.
Right.
So you go on ubroadcast.com, that's free, and you can get a couple thousand listeners. Then it becomes worth it to go onto a paying service.
So if you want to compete with someone like Jabba the Rush, this is a good place to start.
This is a good place to start,
okay.
And like I said, there's a vast wealth of independent music that other people have put up there that you can play legally, and you can start like a really cool underground, and find all this hot little music.
Outstanding.
Yeah.
Thank you, David. Always coming in with something new. That's hot. Tell us how we can get a hold of you and where we get some email action from.
Okay, myspace.com/David Banta, and you can email me at davidbanta@myspace.com. That's actually an email. You can email me there.
Cool. All right, we'll see you next week.
Great.
Thank you, David. We'll be back.